Welcome back to Large Man Abroad. Let's have a talk. There are going to be things that aren't at the stores anymore, and some items are going to be up in price significantly. This is a fact. You cannot argue this. People look to the CPI that was recently released and say that it's lower than it was last time, but that doesn't really mean anything. Not when it comes to data that's coming in right now. We have to look at the facts as they come in to know where we are going. Walmart is the largest retailer in America, and 90% of Americans live within 10 minutes of it. I think anyone in America knows that if you're gonna go grocery shopping, yeah, you don't like Walmart, you don't trust Walmart, but guess what? They have some of the lowest prices out there. It's because they are the biggest company. So they can work with margins that are a lot smaller than pretty much any company out there. So their costs are gonna be lower. But on Thursday, Walmart's chief financial officer came out and really started sounding the alarm bells that yes, price hikes are coming and shortages are coming to Walmart. And with the connections and control in the supply chain that Walmart has, if they're going to be getting hit, then everyone's going to be getting hit. On Thursday, Walmart CFO John David Ramey warned investors that even the retail giant known for its discounts will have to raise prices of many of the items because of the tariffs. That's even despite the 90-day reprieve that lowered duties on Chinese imports to 30%. Goods from dozens of countries still face a 10% duty. We're trying to navigate as best we can, but this is a little bit unprecedented in terms of speed and magnitude in which price increases are coming. He said the company is committed to keeping prices low relative to customers and will absorb some of the higher tariff costs, but said shoppers will likely see increases towards the end of May and more in June. And he predicted more markups than usual in the fiscal second quarter, which began earlier this month. As the largest retailer and grocer in the US, Walmart offered insight into what shoppers may have to pay more for and when at a range of stores and chains around the country. The company on Thursday gave clues about which specific items the department would be most affected by the tariffs. About a third of what Walmart sells in the US is made, grown, and assembled in the country, but it relies on goods brought in from dozens of other nations, especially China, Mexico, Vietnam, India, and Canada. Tariffs on countries like Costa Rica, Peru, Colombia have put pressure on the price of imported items, including bananas, avocados, coffee, and roses. And he added that a high volume of merchandise in some categories like toys and electronics come from China. McMillan said Walmart has taken other steps to reduce tariff exposure along with price increases. Suppliers have shifted from materials like aluminum, which face tariffs, to fiberglass. Merchants have gotten creative by switching to other products and places to source merchandise. Rainey told CNBC that Walmart has cut the size of some orders for items where it expects to have bigger tariff-related price increases, since this will likely cause fewer customers to buy those products. See, this is what we mean when we're talking about the consequences of these tariffs, shortages and price hikes, scarcity. This is what it really comes down to. The things that you wanted to buy last week aren't there next week. And it's not because the products aren't available on the market, it's just that the companies aren't gonna buy them because they're not gonna make money off of them. But they still exist, but no one's bringing them in. And that's where these shortages really come from. Why would businesses bring in merchandise that they're not gonna make money on? Does it create scarcity? Yes. And even the company like Walmart, they have committed to making sure that the cost of food doesn't go up significantly, but that does hint that the cost of food is going to go up. If you watch my channel long enough, you know that I don't like Walmart. I don't like what they've done to American small business. I don't like what they've done to American small towns. They destroyed Main Street. But at the same time, I understand that the vast majority of Americans use Walmart. They shop there, they get their groceries there. Even I do sometimes. You can't argue that Walmart doesn't have the lowest prices out there. And if it's going to affect them, imagine how it's going to affect all the other retailers out there who are going to have to push their prices up or just completely stop ordering a lot of these products that are being shipped in. You can say, yeah, go ahead and buy American. Let's talk about food for a second. Yeah, America grows a lot of food. We do. But when you go to a store, what do you see? You see American food, let's say it's 50%. And then you have imported food, 50%. What happens when companies stop ordering the imported food and they only have American food, right? Now these food products, that's 50%. 50% of it's gone. There's scarcity right there. I mean, it's as easy as that for these things to go that bad. Let's say there's 20% less, 30% less. 30% less of food available on the shelves. Number one, that's going to cause panic buying. It's going to cause panic buying because people recognize that the products that were there last week are not there this week. What's going to be gone next week? And this creates panic. This creates panic buying. And that's where we get in the same trouble that we saw during the pandemic. Now, a 30% markup on imports that are coming in is crushing to the vast majority of businesses out there. Even 10% is enough to eat away at a lot of profits for a small business. Now, let's say even if that supply chain is reconnected, let's say the Trump administration go ahead and does away with the tariffs altogether. Number one, it's going to take a while for trade to start up again. It's not flipping a switch and everything starts coming in. A lot of these relationships that have been made between these countries is now either broken or in danger. And it takes a long time to get the products from the factories to the ships, to our ports, loaded in trucks, moved out to warehouses, redistributed to retailers. It's an incredibly long process. That's why we saw the tariffs take effect on April 11th, and we're only going to start seeing the impacts of those in the coming weeks. This takes time, right? That means in that entire time since April 11th, there's been an absolute slowdown. So this protracted event that we're going to be facing is just that. It's protracted. It's longer. It's going to take more time than people say. It's not going to be shortages for a week and then that's it. No, this will last some time. Right? The 90-day pause in tariffs is just that. It's a 90-day, but it's not being lifted after 90 days. What happens when the damage is done at that point, and those people that we're in a trade war with see the damage that's happening in America, see the pressure that that's going to put on our administration, and what happens if they don't concede? Because I doubt that they will. The tariffs are either going to go up again or they're going to stay the same. Either way, that's going to be a minimum of 10 to 30% tariff. That's a 10 to 30% sales tax that the customer's paying, and that's a massive shortage of goods that are coming into the country. Goods that are coming into the country that our country can't produce. It is a shortage. There will be scarcity, and in scarcity there are price hikes. It's supply and demand. So yes, it's coming. The CFO and the CEO of Walmart have came out and said that it's coming. This is undeniable at this point. We need to understand that. We need to understand that there are going to be empty shelves. We need to understand that the clothes that are coming in from all over the world that we use, because we don't really produce them in America, they're not going to be on the shelves anymore. The goods that we're used to aren't going to be there because they're just going to cost more. And these companies that sell them to us aren't going to be able to sell them to us because they're not going to be able to buy them. That's how this works. And I don't think we really understand the impact of this by shutting ourselves out from the global market. It's not that we're just dependent on it. It's not just that we like the luxuries. That's not what it's about. It's about maintaining a very delicate and fragile system where if you take a wrench and throw it into it, the entire thing can collapse. The collapse of a supply chain is a very easy thing to happen because a nation, an economy, can only survive without for so long before it has to adjust. The longer this goes, the more damage is going to be done on the United States and honestly the globe in general. Because yes, we are the largest consumer base in the country. We spend the most, we really do. And to say that it's all just cheap Chinese goods that are coming in is a lie. It's not. It's not. It's food, it's manufacturing goods, it's tools, it's electronics. They're things that just aren't produced in America. Things that aren't produced in America that are cost effective for Americans to buy, certainly. It would be different if it was actually China that's paying this money. But these tariffs are just a sales tax. That's all it is. It's essentially just instant inflation that was given to us, thankfully, by our amazing government. That's all that it is. All this is unnecessary and it can stop because all it does is hurt the American people. It shuts down small business. It creates a scarcity mindset, which makes people not want to invest because they're not sure what the future looks like. What do we tell the new generation of kids that are being raised right now that are going to be going through this? This is a real event that's coming down the pipe, and a lot of people aren't taking it as serious as it needs to be taken. You can look at me and say that, hey, I'm a doom and gloom guy, but is the CEO and CFO of Walmart a doom and gloom guy? Because I'm pretty sure he's raising the alarm and trying to kind of get us to brace ourselves for what's coming. Because like I said, if it's going to hit Walmart, Walmart has the funds to be resilient through this kind of thing, maybe. But even the CEO said that, the time that they can withstand an assault like this can only be so long. And if that's Walmart, what happens to small business? What happens to local or more regional grocers? It's bad. It's not good. The only way to stop this now, honestly, is for the tariffs to either be reduced drastically or just kind of go away. Capitulate if we have to. I mean, the effects are going to do far more damage than any good can possibly do. But that's all I got for today. I want to thank you for stopping by. If you're still here, like and subscribe. Crazy world out there, guys. It's the weekend. Hope you guys have a good one. Stock up. We got a couple weeks left, according to Walmart, until it starts getting a little rough. So stock up, guys. Have a good one.